Happy Wednesday. How are you doing today? Let me know in comments what you are drinking and where you're watching from. How's everybody doing today? I do not think I have shared to the group, so let me do that right now so as not to. Are you guys seeing me in the group? Hey, Michelle, how are you? Hey, Trevor, how's it going? Happy first of the month. It is chapter 2 of 2023. Like the first chapter, like flew by. Did you guys feel like January flew by? Okay, and so let me just do a shout out to my Texas people. So if you're in Texas and you're chilly willy, I am not envious of how you guys feel because this is year 3 of a cold January, February. So hopefully you all are staying warm. My mom and daughter are still in Texas, and so I know it is pretty doggone chilly there. So Trevor, I am totally about to unpack Dubai before we dive into this amazingly hot topic today because Dubai was the bomb.com. Like there was nothing about Dubai that I didn't like. I just loved Dubai. So much that we're going back in July. So if you guys haven't heard, we are doing another fam trip in July because so many people have reached out to me and is like, are you going? Are you going to again? So we are going to actually be spending the 4th of July in Dubai. That sort of rhymes. Like I like alliteration. So that is definitely one. So we are spending the 4th of July in Dubai. I'm going to have to say that 10 times. All right, so hold on. Let me share this inside of the group. I thought I had already did that, but it does not appear that I did. So let me go. Yeah, it's September. September is an amazing time to be there. I really, before going to Dubai, really had no intention of ever being there in the hot of summer. But so many travel agents have told me that, that was like the best time that they could get off and all of that. So, here we are. We're about to be in Dubai in July. I love saying that. I'm gonna have to make like a little T-shirt. I made it through Dubai in July because it's gonna be hotter than hell in Dubai. But it's like one of the busiest times of the year. I don't know why people want to go to the desert in the summer, but I'm going to be there with you all in the desert in the summer. So let me know. There's lots of people who are joining us. Super hot topic. I've got like a page full of great things to share with you all. Before we jump in, though, tell me where you are watching from and what you are drinking. Because if you are new to me, we do this every Wednesday night. I've attempted to do it on other nights, but this just seems to be the best way to break up the week. Let me know what you're drinking and let me know what part of the world you are watching from. And while we do that in my normal fashion, I'm going to start asking you guys questions. 1, if this is you, 0, if this is not you, or a negative to this. So the first thing is how many of you guys are using the internet to do research? Itinerary, suppliers, destination. Use the internet to do research. Type a 1 if that's you, type a 0 if you don't use the internet. You're like, internet is not my friend. Let me know in the comments. Do you use the internet to do research? Do you let your fingers do the walking? I do. I let my fingers do the walking. I let them do the walking all the time. I am, for those that don't know, back in the day, used to be a high school and college debater. So I am a research guru. And when I discovered the internet, I had just graduated college. I think the internet had just started. This totally dates me. But when I was in college, I graduated college in 1995, and the internet, I think, had just been discovered. Forget, I was an auditor at an oil and gas company, and in 90, must have been 95, because I started in May of 95. This we kind of started the position in waves, and this the group of auditors that came right after I had started. I'll never forget. I don't remember her name, but she was blonde, and she was like, "Have you heard about the internet?" And I was like, "What?" Because back in the day, I was just talking to somebody. If you needed to do research, you had to have an encyclopedia. You had to go to the library. You had to look through magazines. You had to do a lot of stuff to get information, right? So back in 95, when the internet became, I was so excited because I was accustomed to going into the library. I was accustomed to reading books and magazines and everything to get information, watching the news, all of that, right? And so back in the day when you were a travel agent, like you had to I just threw away, I just cleaned my office out, and I am still a big paper person, and you got pamphlets, right? That's how you found out about destinations, and you saved them. And people came in brick and mortar, and they, perused all of your wonderful pamphlets, right? But now we've got the internet, right? So I'm fast forwarding some almost 30 years later, and we've got the internet. And as equally as excited as I was to discover the power of information at my fingertips, as equally as excited as I am today with the introduction of ChatGPT and the accessibility to us being able to take all of this information and really let our fingers do the walking in a very powerful way. So if you use the internet, as many of you guys said, and you're not using ChatGPT, I'm going to make your day today. Like I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm going to make your day. So number 2 question is, how many of you use the internet to do research, but you find it a little bit difficult to find what you want? Like type of 1, if you find it a little bit difficult to find what you want. Is it something that doesn't come second nature to you? Type of 1, if you're like, yeah, it's not as easy as I'd like it to be. Type of 0, if you're like, no, I go to the internet and I get everything I want all the time, every time. The internet has a lot of crap on it. That is correct. Because there's a lot in the world. There's a lot of crap in the world. So the internet is just it is everything, where everything is. The great thing about the internet is the answers are there. So back in 95, people were able to sell the fact that you could get access to information. Now, if you don't know something, it's just because you're lazy. You don't want to go look for it. Or maybe it's too cumbersome to comb through all of the massive amount of data or information that's out there, because we're not in a situation in 2023 that you cannot find the answer to what you're looking for. Doesn't matter what it is. Like literally, you can find an answer, and most likely, if it's been thought of, there's a video about how to do it on YouTube, which is why I love YouTube so much. So my number 3 question is do you want an easier way to do research? Do you want an easier way to do research? And the types of research that you want an easier way. Type of 1, if yes, you do. Or type of 0, you're like, nope, I'm good. I got everything that I want. Do you want an easier way to put together quotes? Type of 1. Do you want an easier way to write content? Type of 1. Do you want an easier way just to do life? Type of 1, right? Like type of 1. All right, so you guys want this topic. That explains why we have there was an amazing response to this topic. There is an amazing response of people who are joining me live. So before I jump in, I want to just introduce myself, because some of your names, I've never seen your names before, and I'm excited to have you here. My name is Sunday Gardner. I am your host in the Online Travel Boss community. I created this community for travel advisors or people who are just generally passionate about travel and they want to operate or launch a successful and profitable travel business. So I come here every single week talking all thing launching and operating a travel business, right? So I do not focus on recruiting for the travel business. I am not associated with any host agency. I am purely a trainer and educator in all of those things that I mentioned. So here's how you can work with me. So let me just start with that. I come here week. If you want to get free information, the best place I will recommend for you to do that is to binge out on my YouTube channel. So you can check me out on YouTube. Search, I should have the link. I should have had that ready, but I don't. It's Online Travel Boss TV. And there is a plethora of free resources out there in terms of all topics dealing with launching and operating a profitable and successful travel business. You can also check out our Online Travel Boss School, where there is a plethora of individual classes on a variety of different topics that ail the travel business owner. So that is school. I believe it's school.onlinetravelboss.com. And then the other thing is to book a fast action call with me, and I'll give you some more information about that at the end. So every single week we talk all things operating and launching a successful travel business, and I am super excited to have you here because listen, you have got to be a person who hides under the rock. You don't know anything about the internet to not have heard about ChatGPT. But for those of you who do not know what it is an open artificial intelligence application that for the time being is very much to the public while they are testing. I'm going to demo it in just a few minutes. I'm going to give you the link to it if you don't know what it is. And then we're going to talk about some best practices on how to utilize it to help you with increasing bookings. But before we do a demo, I'm going to do what I do best, which is do a little bit of strategy and training. So before we get started diving into the tool, because that's what it is, ChatGPT is a tool. You still have to know how to use or understand the strategy behind the usage of the tool to really get the benefit out of it. So let's talk a little bit about that. When it comes to increasing bookings, really there are three things that you should be thinking about that make you more money in this business, right? It's going to be either getting more clients, doing more of the same thing over and over and over again, right? That's one way. The other way is, and I've got my notes because I don't, I start to get really excited and then I forget about what I want to say. So increase your number of people that you work with. How do you do that? You're like, well, I know how to do, I understand that I need more to get clients. Well, what's the best way to get more people exposed to you? Build more relationships, right? And the best way to build more relationships is to have a way to attract clients and build relationships through content. That's where ChatGPT comes in. We'll talk about how to do that. So if you want to get more clients, you got to get more people raising their hand to get to know you. Content is an amazing way to do that. Give people what they want via content, right? So we'll talk about that. The other way to increase your bookings is to increase more of what you sell, right? So you can increase the average ticket price of your trips by adding more value, adding more services, adding more products, make $1,000 trip valued or sell it $1,000, $3,000, right? By adding more things to buy with the trip, upselling, cross-selling, that type of thing. That's a way for you to increase your bookings. And then the third way to increase your bookings is to increase the opportunity to buy. So I call that multiple reasons to buy. So those are three things. And we're going to talk about how you can use technology like I have a hard time saying that. ChatGPT. They need to come with an easier acronym than that. ChatGPT is a tool to help you do those three things. So I'm actually, when I started preparing for this, I was like, I've got all these things I want to tell you. So I'm actually going to make this a 3-part series. So what we're going to talk about today is one of those three things and how we can use ChatGPT to make that happen. Let me know in the comments if you guys are cool with that, with us making this a 3-part series. So I'm going to 3 times come to you and show you how you can do each one of those things that I just described using ChatGPT. Are you guys game for that? So next week I'm going to come to you, and the following week. So we're going to make this the Love Fest. Usually in the month of February, it is my birthday in the month of February. And I used to do a Love Your Travel Business series in the month of February. And so this is sort of in that spirit. We'll do a 3-part series that's really focused on how to utilize this tool to help you make more money in your travel business. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to focus on 3 ways that you can increase the relationship with your clients through content using ChatGPT. All right, you guys game for that? So this means that we're going to actually do some screen share, and I actually love doing screen share because I don't really like to be in front of the camera as much. So I get the opportunity to actually, sort of hide behind my screen and talk all things technology. So I'm going to put this in the chat, which is a link to ChatGPT if you do not know what it is. So happy birthday to whoever just said their birthday is. We're going to be celebrating my birthday all this month because I am turning the big 50. We have a fam trip that's going to Cuba at the end of the month. And so it's going to be a celebration all month. Like, I'm half a century. I've been around I've been 50, it'll be 50 trips around the sun. I'm a little, I don't know how I'm feeling about turning 50, but it doesn't matter how I'm feeling because I'm turning 50, no matter how I feel about it. So this is the link to hold on, let's just, you know what? I think I just put the link to the sorry, I think I put the link to this actual post. So let me do that. Let me try that again. All right, this is the link to ChatGPT. The other way you could do is, if for some reason you can't click on this link, just type in the word openai.com and that will take you to ChatGPT as well. And so what I'm showing you is, if this is the first time that you've logged into it, this will just let you know what it's about. You will need to create an account. So hopefully, Chris, you've got the right account. Again, you can go to openai.com. I just put it a link right there above that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on try. And it's going to ask you to log in. And so if you've not logged in before, you'll need to create an account. I just happen to use my Google account, but you can put your email address. Don't feel any kind of way about that, because if you want to use the leverage of this, you will need to create an account. So I just have to use my Google account to do this. And so I'm actually going to create I'm using one of my other old Gmail accounts. And then you just tell them a little bit about you. You can put I guess you have to verify your phone number. I forgot I had to do this. So you'll need to send a code. And then you will get a code. And so hold on, let me see what my code is that I just got. 4848. All right. And then I just messed up my little recording, so I have to do that again. So there we go. All right. So then it's going to take you into ChatGPT. And so literally, this is the internet on steroids, because here are some examples that it's going to go through, some capabilities and limitations. There will be people who will try and use it for evil. And so this is just kind of letting you know, and I'll let you guys read this on your own. Really, what this does is it allows you to put in questions and prompts. And when you put in those question and prompts, it will return you information. And so what I will say is, like, somebody give me a destination that they just got from one of their clients that they want to go to. So we're literally going to build some content for you that's going to help you. Let's say just anybody type in a destination that you want, that you don't really, Italy. Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. All right. So let's say Michelle is going to want to design a trip to Italy, and she wants to talk about that in a Facebook group, maybe a Facebook group that she's a part of, and she wants to get some interest around Italy. Now, I think Italy is a great place because I've never been. I don't know anything about Italy. I don't know if Michelle knows anything about Italy, but let's see how we can use ChatGPT to build relationships around a destination that you want to sell, or build a signature itinerary. All right. So the first thing is we want to, when you're using ChatGPT, okay, I can't keep saying that, so we're just going to call it chat. All right. When we start using the chat tool, what we've got to do is we've got to ask it questions in a way that allows it to then provide us some important information. So I want you to realize that any junk in, you're going to get junk out. So if you don't give it enough context, it's not going to give you the kind of information that you want. So Michelle, I've worked with you, so I happen to know a little bit about you. So I'm going to assume that you want to build a group that is going to go to Italy. That's what I'm going to assume. And I want to like start to build some excitement around Italy, but I don't know what to talk about. So I'm going to start with a simple question like, give me 10 topic ideas about Italy. And so what you're going to want to do is, in your prompt, you're going to want to narrow down who your audience is, right? So, I know a little bit about me, and I know a little bit about some groups. So let's say this is going to be a girls' trip that I'm going to want to talk about for Italy. Give me 10 topics about Italy to get excitement around a trip I am planning. Let's call it just a girls' trip. A girls' trip. All right, so I'm giving it some context, so it can then give me some ideas on what to do, what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. I've never been to Italy. I don't know what's interesting about Italy. So now I type that in, and now hopefully you guys can see chat tool is coming back, and it's going to give me 10 topics that I could talk about when it comes to Italy. Now, what's great about these topics too is I could do a live stream. I could create an email series. I could create social media posts. I could create video snippets. I could create, like, there's a whole slew of things that I could create around these topics, right? And so I'm going to, okay, perfect. I'm gonna pick, because I like wine. I don't really like wine, but I do like drinking. So I'm gonna, and I personally want to do, I want to go to Tuscany, right? But I also like food and cuisine, right? The great thing about this is now this is giving you 10 ideas in terms that you can then now explore and even go deeper. So the beauty of this tool is now I don't have to go to the internet, Google, and try and click around. I'm in one place, and I'm literally going to be able to get as much information as I can. So I'm going to pick food and cuisine, because I'm a foodie and I love food and I like wine. So I'm going to pick those two. All right. So what I'm going to say is wine in Tuscany. So now, what do we say the context that we're doing this discovery on in terms of knowledge is we want to build relationships. So if you guys know me, and many of you don't know me, there is a process that I follow in terms of how you build relationships. The first thing is I want to attract strangers. Michelle's out there. She may have a group of girlfriends, but maybe she doesn't. She wants to attract some strangers to go on this Italy group trip that she's creating. So I want to create some sort of stranger offer that's going to do that. So that's a really good way to start the conversation with somebody. So wine tasting in Tuscany, right? I'm going to then take this particular topic, and then I'm going to copy it, and then I'm just going to say, give me some ideas. Give me 5 ideas on creating a opt-in offer, or, if you don't know what that is, a download, a guide about wine tasting in Tuscany. Now, this guide is, I could then offer people and see if they'd be interested in Tuscany or Italy. Does that make sense, right? So these 5 examples that ChatGPT is going to allow me to create something that I could then give as a free offer to somebody, and that will allow them to qualify themselves, right? Let me know if you guys are following kind of this flow. Michelle, you're out there. You and I have worked together. Let me know if this is making sense, right? So I like the name of this thing. And then it also gave me a little bit of a description. One of the things that you can also do when you're doing this kind of research is you can ask it to give me ideas. It can give me titles. It could give me descriptions. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to take it to the next level, right? So here are 5 examples of how I now want to just talk about, this is just one of the 10 ideas, right? Wine tasting in Tuscany, right? Now I've got this ultimate Tuscany wine tasting guide. That sounds really cool. I could do a Tuscany wine tasting map. Well, that even sounds even better. A wine tasting checklist, right? I like that too. I mean, I like all of these. A wine tasting in Tuscany, a beginner's guide. That's even pretty sexy. All of these are sexy. Like, I love these ideas. Here's the other sort of cat's meow that you can now do. So I like I literally like all of them, right? Michelle, hopefully you like all of them too. But I'm going to take this first one, and then I'm going to say, okay, here, and then it's like, here's a little description. I'm going to take this next one, and I'm going to say, okay, the ultimate Tuscany wine tasting guide. All right. Create an outline for the ultimate wine tasting guide. I just want you guys to see now the power. So gone is the days of you trying to figure out what your opt-in offers need to be, right? Well, I want to sell Italy. What do I talk about? What do I think about? Well, you now have 5 different examples of an opt-in offer, downloadable, a cheat sheet or guide or something that you create. Not only that, now you have an outline for which you to create that guide, right? Like, you guys, like, are you guys like so excited about this? Like, let me know in comments. Like, like my whole life has changed. I literally have not been able to sleep in like 4 weeks. It's been ridiculous since I've been introduced to this. Now you've got a guide with the outline for what you can include in the guide, right? So now here's your outline. Again, I don't know anything about Tuscany. I don't know anything about Tuscany. But here, a brief history of wine in Tuscany, an overview of different wine regions in Tuscany, right? Importance of wine tasting in Tuscany, right? And then the regions that we can go to in Tuscany, the best vineyards in Tuscany. How to taste wine in Tuscany. All of that is what could be included inside of your guide. Now, this to me is like even the better thing, is create the guide using the above outline. And literally it's going to spit it out. Now, what I will tell you is, I don't copy this stuff straight because it doesn't necessarily have my tone. doesn't have all of the things that I would say, maybe, but it's certainly better than starting from scratch, a blank sheet of paper, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stop generating this, because that's a new feature that they just added at the beginning of the month. But what I'm going to also, because what I told you is I don't necessarily take it word for word. I see what it's saying, right? Like my favorite tone is girlfriend, right? But I also like, I'm a promoter, I'm a marketer, I am a salesperson in the core of my being, right? Not really in the core of my being, because I really am not a salesperson. I'm like the worst salesperson. But this is what we do, right? This is how you make money. You have to sell something. So what is your tone? Really what this tool is doing, it's going to learn your tone and help. It's machine learning, so it's going to learn what you like. So I'm going to give it some direction on how I want it to write this thing. So I'm going to say, I'm actually going to edit what I wrote here. You can edit by clicking on the little pencil, and then here I'm going to say create the guide using the outline. And I didn't even write that right, the outline above. And then I'm going to say in a girlfriend tone with a bit of humor. And then I'm going to hit save and submit. Look at that. So it changed the title and it added for girls who just want to have fun, right? Because I told it who the audience was, and I said I wanted a different voice, right? So the type of content it's going to generate is going to be different based on the tone. So if you're more formal and you want it to be more professional, maybe you're talking to business people who need to do a conference in Tuscany versus a girlfriend's trip, right? As long as the prompts are good, output's going to be good. So I'm going to really emphasize that. So if you're really like, maybe you're using ChatGPT and you're not seeing the results, it's going to be the inputs that you put in. So it'll be the questions that you ask. And literally, I want you to think about this. You tell it exactly what you want, right? So ChatGPT doesn't do any interpretation. It doesn't do any in your mind. I wish, it can't read your mind. It can't tell you and deliver stuff that you don't tell it. So if you're general responses, that means that you need to be more specific in the input that you give to it. All right. So that's what I would tell you on here. So when it comes to content and building relationships, I really want you to think about relationship building, about really around how can I get people, one, to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in your thing. You've got to give them a reason. That is the reason why I have this whole concept of a stranger offer, opt-in offer, a lead magnet, maybe if you're a real heavy marketer, a freebie, a downloadable, that type of thing. So whole training on what is a stranger offer and how to do that. I think that training is available inside of Online Travel Boss School. But once you determine the what of what it is that you want, you come to ChatGPT to help you create it. There's no longer you trying to like I used to, 5 or 6 years ago, in terms of getting ideas, I would tell agents, like, you need to go to Pinterest, see what's already out there, right? And don't get me wrong, that's still a great strategy. But here, AI is really taking all of that sort of searching and research away, because now you can get the results as long as you put the inputs in, right? Let me know. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to drink some drink and let me know, how do you guys feel about this? Like, what do you guys feel about this? Yeah, this is like some crazy stuff. Like, and so the reason why I can't sleep is because I am an entrepreneur. Like, I have so many ideas. And so I literally every morning get up and like use Chat GPT to figure out what my ideas are and figure out what it can do. And so I think the downside of this is that you can start to go down a real serious rabbit hole. And so, when it comes to our training and the training that I give you guys in the future, it's really on like, how do you bring yourself back up? Like, how do you stop the ideas, go and implement and make it happen, and don't get stuck? Like, it's literally, I've been down like multiple rabbit holes. Like, oh, well, what if I did this? And oh, what if I did that? And what if I did this? And so the key to being successful and profitable is acting, right? So it's great to have an idea generator. It's great to have this guide, right? So we've just now got this amazing guide, that ChatGPT, but it does you no good if you don't release it. It does you no good if you don't put it to action. You don't take this guide, create it, and then start releasing it out to the world and start getting people on your email list, so then you can then start to build the relationship, right? So don't make the mistake that I think many content creators who are now like loving this tool is that they've got all this content, but I only say it's content is only as good as you release it, right? As you market it and as you track it. So let me say that again. If you're creating content and you're not promoting the content, then you're wasting your time. You're literally doing the thing that I'm doing, which is I am a researcher. So I'm like, okay, I've got the ultimate wine tasting guide. Okay, well, like what, I go and I research all 5 of the options, right? No, I want you guys to get in the habit of idea, create, release, promote, track. Create, release, promote, track. Like, that's what you really need to do. So ChatGPT is a tool. It is a great idea generator. It is a great tool to help you create content. But the only way that you're going to build relationships is if you actually release it, right? You get it out there in front of people. So don't get into an analysis paralysis type of thing where you're like, oh my God, you find yourself researching all day long and you don't release anything. So you take a guide like this. The first thing is you go get, you build the guide, you create a URL, and you start getting out there and you start releasing. You need to have an opt-in page to get people's email addresses so that you can start to continue the conversation. Maybe you use that as a teaser to come inside of a Facebook group that you show up to and you start talking all things Italy. That's where the power is releasing, right? You have all of the research at your fingertips. That's exactly correct. All right. So that's one use case for using ChatGPT to build a relationship, is create a stranger offer with ChatGPT, get some ideas on stranger offers, create the offer, and then release it. Get them on an email list, right? So I think somebody posted this earlier and said, oh, I use ChatGPT for my post, right? So again, start with what you want to talk about. What is the thing that you want to sell more of? If you want to sell more of Jamaica, you want to sell more of Italy, Europe, whatever that is, what is that? And then build an entire content strategy around that using ChatGPT as a source for ideas. Another thing, so this is a stranger offer relationship. This is the way that people can raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in your fill in the blank. So another relationship builder activity. So I put another relationship builder activity. So you've got guides. An opt-in offer is ongoing relationships, right? So you've got a stranger offer that's going to attract strangers to you. The next thing is ongoing relationships, right? So what are some ongoing relationship types of things that you can do? Well, you can do lives, right? You can do Facebook lives and then invite people to those lives like I do. I invite you guys weekly to come listen to me talk all things travel, right? You could create a Facebook group where you come in and you talk about Italy. Like, you could create a Facebook group just around a particular destination, right? And then you could release posts, do topics, that kind of thing. So ChatGPT, a good example of this is let's say you want to do topics, you want topic ideas. We already got the list of 10, but we just want to talk about Tuscany. Maybe for 1 week straight, we're just going to talk about Tuscany, right? So I'm going to say, let's say 4 topic ideas, because I'm going to do one every week. I'm going to do 4 live topic ideas about traveling in Tuscany. Right. So again, We went from I'm going to attract strangers into my travel business, to me, either on my email list, into a Facebook group, or whatever that place is that you want to nurture them. And then you want to do lives. Maybe you've got a YouTube channel, maybe you've got a Facebook group, and you're going to come in here, right? So now you've got these 4 topics that you can talk about. Same concept. You can build an outline for your live to talk about. Maybe your live is going to be 30 minutes. What are 3 things that you can talk about each one of those? Put that in ChatGPT and now you've got topics. One of the biggest things that I'm using ChatGPT when it comes to knowledge is I am a video person, but I'm going to tell you, since 2016 to 2023, video is not my favorite thing to do. I do it because it's effective. I enjoy showing up once I do, but literally still, almost 10 years later, I still have to talk myself to come on live. Like, I got to talk, like, I don't want to do it because it's just not something I enjoy doing. And I certainly don't enjoy pre-recorded video, right? I don't like doing it. I definitely love doing lives better than pre-recorded because I don't know, like the whole scripting thing. I'm using ChatGPT now to write my scripts, and it's been amazing. Like, so I want to do a reel script, a 2-minute reel script, or a 30-second reel script. Why I don't like doing recorded video is because of the stop and start that it takes me to do that. So now all I have to do is type my topic in, and then I get a great script that I can follow. It takes me like 3 takes, where it used to take me like 30 takes to do something, because I'm a type A person, and that's just the way it is, right? So here I'm going to show you how you do that, and then I'm going to open it up for some Q&A. So discovering hidden gems I just don't like that as much. I just still like the wine tasting just because, but you can do whatever, right? So here I'm going to do a beginner's guide. I'm going to copy this whole thing, and then I'm going to say, write me a, let's say a 30-second video script to ladies who would be interested and then I'm going to say girlfriend tone, because that's just my favorite tone, like kind of casual. And I'm also talking to girlfriends, right? And so now I'm going to stop this one because this one always does this to me. So I'm just going to copy this. Because this is actually telling you kind of like how to create a script, but here I'm going to do a written script. Like, I want it to actually tell me what's a written video script. I still don't like the way this one is doing. This is still doing like a voiceover. Create a written video script. Yeah, I can't remember what the term is. What this is doing, and the reason why I don't like it is because it's actually telling you how to design a video script, like a video, like, you cut over here, and that's not what I want. I actually just want a script for me to read. Yeah, okay, I'm going to try that because on my other account, it's not script. Let me do a reel. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Let me just do what you said, a Facebook script. Yeah. It's stuck on, I'm gonna actually start a new chat and see if it'll do that. Let it think a little minute. So sometimes you do, so this, yeah, I don't know why it's just stuck on this, like trying to give me like a video. Maybe because I keep saying video. But you guys are writing in here, and so that's exactly what you get the concept. So I'm going to stop generating this because write me a 30-second Facebook script. You guys are totally getting the concept. All right. Yeah, so now it's just being angry. So sometimes you'll get this something went wrong, and so when that happens, just regenerate the response. Sometimes I'll have to do a new chat as well. There we go. I still don't like this whole scene thing. So I'll play with this. Yeah, starting a new chat. So there's something going on with just the way that it's. This is sort of better. This is definitely better than what it's doing here. And this is, so literally you would be writing this. You would be saying this. Ladies, are you interested in discovering the rich world? Now, if this is not your voice, then try it more casual, right? So what I also like to do is I like to say casual tone with a bit of humor. Wonderful. That's kind of funny. Are you interested in some wonderful fun in Tuscany? Join us for our beginner guide to tasting. I like that. Like, I actually like the way this is reading. So again, you can create yourself a script. You don't have to worry about starting from scratch. What do I say? That to me is the thing that prohibits me from doing reels. And because I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And then when I write the script, it sounds all kludgy. And so this is kind of a really good way for you to start to get some content that maybe you don't feel so comfortable with creating, that is going to allow you to build that relationship and content. Video, even though I teach it, I know how powerful it is, I still struggle with it. I personally still struggle with it. It is not my favorite thing to do. Having something, so I have a teleprompter. I'll actually do a whole live just on the kinds of tools that help me get over my own internal hump of doing things that I don't like. But a teleprompter is one of those. ChatGPT script is another thing that allows me to create more content easier, and then that allows people to connect. So video is definitely a way to build relationships. I love YouTube because it is a one time and forget it. You do it, you load it, and then now you point people to it. So if you want to sell a particular destination and you want to sell it on repeat, like often, like you want to just become the destination expert in Italy, Europe, whatever it is, you literally can now create yourself a channel dedicated to that, a Facebook group dedicated to that, where all you're doing is attracting people who are interested in that. That's how you become profitable. That's how you make lots and lots of money, is niche down in a way that you become the expert in that thing or that person. I love becoming experts in people, and then I can take them anywhere in the world. But if you want to become an expert in a particular destination, ChatGPT is the way to help you do that, because then you can create content, a channel or a focused space for that destination. I'm going to pause. Let me know what you guys think about that. So using it to help you build, scripts, ideas for what to talk about in video, what to create in terms of social media posts, emails, all of that. This is what the power of this tool is when it comes to building relationships. Now, you want to sell more, you want to get more money in your business, you got to be a relationship queen or king. This was told to me many years ago, and I've always remembered this, that your most powerful asset in your business is the number of people that know, like, and trust you. So if you can become an expert at building relationships, right? Content is a powerful way to do that. Video or written content, even audio content, right? If you can be a content creator that not only creates, but gets it delivered in front of your client, that's the way you increase your revenue. Every day, all day. Get more people seeing that you're the expert in that thing or person. You will make more money every day, all day, particularly in the environment that we're in today, where people, it's not that we, like, when you think about what makes us valuable in the marketplace, what makes travel advisors so valuable is there's too much information in the world. Just like you guys said, you have trouble finding everything that you want, right? We bring the travel to people in a way that's easier for them to get out of town, right? This kind of tool helps you assemble that information in a way so that you can then present it to your clients so they can get out of town quicker, right? So that is segment number one. Let me know in comments, what did you guys think about this? How do you feel like you can use ChatGPT to increase the relationships with your current clients, new clients, or future clients? Let me know in comments. What's your biggest takeaway from tonight's training? Like, I would love to know that. Yeah, Chris, you mentioned in terms of organization. I literally, the way that I went through this is how I actually build it out. And I will build out, I'll ask for topics, then I'll ask for outlines, and then from outlines, I'll ask for whatever it is. Either is it an email series, is it a post series, whatever it may be, that's what I'm doing. So Kelly, that is going to be session number 3, where we actually go to, so the first thing is we want to build relationships. The next thing, so next week, what we're going to talk about is our number 2, which is how do we upsell? Like, how do I get ideas for upselling Tuscany, for example? So we'll talk about that. And then our third session will be, how do we take a request and then build it out? But I want you to really think about, like, now that you know how to do this, Kelly, you asked the question, type it in, right? You want to plan an itinerary, type that into ChatGPT. Literally, what you want to do, ask it. Ask it specifically, ChatGPT. Make sure I will probably create a guide for you guys in terms of like best types of prompts that are going to get you the kinds of results, like a formula. I actually have a formula in my head around what kind of prompting you should do to get the kinds of results that you may want to do. All right, so listen, I sort of alluded to the fact that I think I didn't allude. I think I already said it. So if you've been under a rock this week, maybe you've been shivering and trying to stay warm because you're in Texas, you may have missed that I just dropped our next fam trip, which is Dubai. So July 1st through July 5th, we will be going back to Dubai. I'm only taking a certain number of travel agents plus one guest for this. So if you would like to be apply, type the word Dubai if you can go. So it's July 1st through the 5th. And I will be dropping next week. So if you are interested in going to Greece, we are going to Greece in 2023. We're going at the end of September, September 28th through October 7th. Type Greece and you can get on my Greece wait list. That will be for travel agents as well. So if you're interested in selling Greece, we're going to be going to Greece. So super excited about that as well. So we are doing 4, I think that actually puts us at 4 fam trips. So my goal was to do 4 fam trips this year. I may be able to throw in 1 Caribbean thing later on. We're actually doing, here, do you want to do both? We're doing Santorini. It's actually Greece and Turkey. So we're doing a 7-day cruise, plus we're doing a land portion with Greece. So I had the itinerary. I just don't have the page built. My graphic artist has not been feeling well, so we don't have that released yet. So anyway, it's coming next week. It will be same kind of thing. I'm only taking a certain number of people for Greece, but Dubai, that's closing down tomorrow. No, what day is it? It's closing down on Friday. Greece will open that up at the beginning of the month, so next week, and we'll be taking some agents there as well. So listen, let me do really quick my lessons learned for Dubai. You guys, are you guys game for that? Are you guys game to stay on for a couple more minutes? So I did, let me stop sharing because this is not as important for me to share that. So let me just, I have some notes that I took for my lessons learned for Dubai. Do you guys want to stay on for that? If you don't, then I'll see you next week. If you do, let me share with you sort of my major takeaways from my trip to Dubai. I'm such a note taker. Like I have all these, I use Google Keep for notes. I have like 1 million notes. It's so ridiculous. I have so many notes. Like I would literally be the person that would have like sticky notes like all over my computer if I didn't have this Google Keep. It's like the best little tool ever created to me. And all right, so for my note number 1. All right, so for those that are game for my lessons learned for Dubai. So if you have if you're a snorer like me and my mother, and you have a CPAP machine and you need distilled water, it is not readily available in Dubai. Like we could not find distilled water anywhere in the city. It was like the most difficult thing in the world to find. So distilled water was, so I sort of put this under the things that you need to bring with you. I don't know how you get distilled water. Like we never saw that. So if you need distilled water, like that's a big thing. Like you can't find distilled water. It was nowhere. I think we could have went to a clinic, but we didn't make it to that. So that's a big thing. The other thing is that when you're doing a group trip, okay, so this is, let's sort of stay with things to bring. Toilet paper. So we're going to Cuba and somebody asked me, should I bring toilet paper? Yes, you need to bring toilet paper to Cuba, but you also need to either bring toilet paper out to when you go out to the events, like when you go to your activities, because toilet paper is not. It's not a normal thing everywhere. So we take for granted toilet paper. So either snag it from the hotel and take it to your activities, or pack, if you like a certain type of toilet paper, pack it in your bag. But toilet paper is the thing that you need to bring because, for example, we went out to the camel ride. There was no toilet paper. Like they were handing out tissue, and it was pretty bad. Like literally every activity we went to, toilet paper was an issue. Like there was no toilet paper at the event. So the hotel had toilet paper, but there was no toilet paper at the activity. So bring toilet paper. Either bring your own toilet paper or snag some and take it with you. Because I carried a backpack, so backpack. Definitely make sure you've got toilet paper in your backpack because all the places will not have toilet paper. Didn't have to squat, so it's not like Europe, but definitely need toilet paper. All right. So let's see if there's anything else that, okay, so in terms of what to bring, I packed shorts because I was like, it's desert, it's going to be cold. And so I ended up having to wear the same thing because I only brought 2 pairs of long pants and we were there for 6 days. So I didn't have enough clothes and I didn't want to go shopping there. So January, if you're going in the winter months, it's cool enough. For me, I'm very cold natured. So I did not wear the shorts up. I needed long pants. I needed a lighter jacket. I brought a heavy jacket, but I didn't have a light jacket. So cool enough weather, 50s degrees. It was warm maybe a couple of times. Even in the desert, it was still cool at night because it was at night. So definitely need long pants in the winter time. If you're going this summer, I'm sure you could be almost doggone naked. It would still not be cool enough. But definitely January was a cool enough month. And I think it's like that all the way through March. So you definitely need a light jacket and you need long pants if you're cold natured. So the day trips, so that's really all I had for what to bring. But let's talk a little bit about some things that you're going to want to tell your clients if you've never been to Dubai is tipping. Dubai is not a poor country by any stretch of the imagination, but usually when you design these trips for your clients, you don't include tipping the driver and the tour guide if you are designing a group where they have a tour guide. So do not forget to tell your clients that they need to tip their wait staff. Like, I'm gonna call this out. I think as a race of people, African American people have a bad name about tipping. The people in Dubai are the most, like, I don't even know the right term, most accommodating, most take care of you type of culture I have ever been to. So I come from the retail industry. When I was young, I worked in retail. And so they do work on tips. And so I really want you guys as advisors to express that to your clients. They work on tips and they work on referrals. Like the amount of people who are like, can you just, make sure that you leave a good recommendation at the site. And so at the hotel, they gave us cards so that you can do that. Like, this is what they live for. I don't know what kind of training the people in Dubai go through in terms of customer service, but I'm telling you, every single place we went, everybody accommodating. Our guides took care of us. The drivers took care of us. The hotel staff took care of us. So please, do not pay tips through credit cards because it goes to a group sort of system, and the person that helped you and gave you great service, they get it divided by the total number of staff. That's at restaurants, that's at the hotel. So really, having money in the currency is like the biggest thing that I would definitely going there again would make sure to let people know. So make sure hospitality, like no other. Somebody just typed that word, and that definitely is the hospitality doesn't even like do its service. Like it was like 10-star service, and it was like every single where I went. Like I felt so loved on, except for in the gold souk market. But in restaurants and in the hotel, it was amazing service. It was amazing service, and it was like that everywhere we went. So just take care of your staff. Like, just take care of the staff. That's like the biggest thing. The other thing that I wish that I had done is that I went through a tour company and I did not call the hotel. And I normally do that, and I don't know why I let it slip. But introduce yourself to the sales manager, no matter if you go through a tour company or not. Make sure that your group is taken care of. Make sure that you validate directly with the hotel. Say you would do on your own group, do for yourself. I did not do that for this fam trip. And so we did have a hiccup that I could have avoided had I done that. So make sure you meet the sales manager. Make sure if you're sending a group there, make sure you do that. If you're sending, even if you're sending people, just like make sure you know who the salespeople are on the ground and that there's no hiccups, even if you're going through a tour company. Travel, travel insurance. This seems like it's a no-brainer, but like you definitely want to do that. Let me give you a reason, even another example of why you need to do this is um, our trip was disrupted by the FAA issue where the system went down, and so we came a day early, and do you guys remember? Like, so the system was down, and people had to get rerouted, and um, some may had to stay overnight or what have you, and so you just never know what's going to happen. Let your client know. So make sure that you're getting travel insurance waivers. If for some reason your clients, you aren't offering or insurance, or they didn't take insurance, make sure that you got a waiver to protect your business, because anything could happen medically, trip wise, whatever. So I just want to harp again on the fact that insurance should be a commonplace for you. And if you're traveling as a travel advisor, you should get insurance as well. I didn't like the London airport. I just don't like the way they run that airport. So they do not let you know the gate until an hour before the flight. So, we came in from JFK, and we literally went from one place to one place, and we're waiting to do it. I got delayed coming home, and I get to the airport on time, and then I literally have to stay in the common area because they don't release the gate until right before. So then you're rushing. My hip is hurting, all this stuff, and I'm rushing to trying to get to the gate. So I don't necessarily like flying into London. I probably will never fly to London going into Dubai again. You probably know this, but VAT tax, you get it back. So make sure you keep all your receipts when you're there. The shopping day in Dubai. So if any of you guys are doing that Dubai tour, half a day Dubai tour, it's not enough time to shop. Like if you're a shopper, like they literally whiz you through, and you get to see, look, you may get to stop at one shop, but it's not enough time. Like if you came there to shop, like, so for any of you people, guys or gals that are shoppers, Dubai is definitely the place to shop. The markets, you can get anything. Just think of it, and you can get it, right? I'm not indicating that you are a shopper of knockoffs, but they're all there. Anything you can think of, it's there. I've never seen so much jewelry in all my life. So shopping, if you are a shopper, that is the place to go to shop. That is all that I have in terms of my lessons learned. Those are things that I just typed while I was there to remind myself. I'm sure if I sat down, there'd probably be another page full of stuff that I could do. So listen, Dubai in July is where we're going to be. So if you want to apply, type Dubai. I'll get you the application. Closing down on Friday. We already have, I think, 10 people that are registered. I'm only taking 10 more. And so there it is. Now you know. So let me know in comments. How are you guys feeling about like ChatGPT and Dubai in and of itself? It's like one of the hottest destinations right now. We're going to the second hottest destination. So many people are scared to go to Cuba, but I am like so excited to be going to Cuba in a couple of weeks. How was the flights? I was actually pretty worried because I had back surgery a year ago. It'll be a year in a week. It'll be a year. And I was afraid because when I sit down too long, I get pain. And it was not bad at all, actually. The flight, so it was broken up because we didn't do a direct flight. I flew out of Atlanta. So I flew there. I met my mom in JFK. Met some people in JFK, then we flew from JFK to London to Dubai. Flight wasn't bad at all. So it was 8 hours to London, 8 hours to Dubai. They feed you, they give you drinks, And they give you snacks on that long flight. You can walk around, you can watch movies, you can work, you can sleep. I feel like I did it all. So the flight, I was really concerned about the flight. So I would actually consider doing a straight flight, now, kind of under dynamic. So it's like a 15-hour flight, 15, 16-hour flight. I would also fly into, I was also mentally concerned about flying into a country that I wasn't familiar with. So I think it's Qatar is another common place. Straight flights from DFW into Qatar, and then Qatar is only a 2-hour flight. So I would definitely do that. And the leg room was great. Preferred through British Air. I would do that again. But even the coach, I'm told at Emirates, is more legroom than what a normal coach is. So the flights it was good. Absolutely. So I'll let you know when we do another Cuba, because we will be doing Cuba again. I love the vendor that we're working with, and based on what she's told us, we only will have the opportunity to visit Havana. So there's so much more to Cuba that we won't be able to see. So we absolutely be doing it again. If you look in the comments before, I put a link to ChatGPT. It's openai.com, and that will take you to the login. Emirates, yeah, so DFW. So that's what I was thinking, that I'd have to fly into DFW to get to Dubai directly. And I would do that. I would fly back home, because I do still consider DFW to be home. I'd fly to DFW to then get a straight flight. So 14 hours. That's a no-brainer. It's only like an hour flight to DFW, so I could stop in, visit my daughter, and all that. So, yeah, the flights definitely was not as bad as I thought. The staff on the plane was awesome too. So just really no complaints on that process. So lovely. All right. So we went a little bit over. This is a little bit longer than we normally meet, but there's so much to talk about and so much to share. So thanks for hanging on. For those that are interested in Dubai, looking forward to talking to you about that. And then I will see you for part 2, and where we will be talking about how you can use ChatGPT to increase your bookings by increasing your average ticket price, ways to do that. So super excited about that topic, and I will see you next week, same time, same bat channel. You guys have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon.